at you from a gorgeous but very, very windy day here in Virginia. Turn those off. It was a little cold ride on the way to work this morning. But I really going back and forth to work, making videos lately, pretty much with everything going on and not many places to go. I don't want to make it look like I am really breaking any rules. So I figured, you know, with how windy it is, you could probably hear how windy it is in my helmet. It's a pretty windy day, so I don't know if you know, tips on how to ride during windy conditions is a topic or not. But I know with my wife being relatively new to riding, I know it makes her nervous, so I figured I would go ahead and bring up the subject. Might as well talk about it. And it's, you know, maybe I can portray that it is not scary. Also, check out my new intro if you haven't already. Right there. There it is!
We want some peg spit.
Oh. So, yeah, that's relatively new. I just came up with that. I figured I needed one. So, with it being windy, one of the biggest things I could portray is to stay alert. You know, there's all kinds of stuff going on. There's things that will be flying up in the road. If you're not wearing a full face helmet, make sure you're wearing some kind of glasses. There's a lot of stuff flying around that could be flicking you in the face. You never want anything in your eye when you're trying to ride. If you've ever gotten anything in your eye, I'm sure that you're aware of how it is to have to blink something out while you're going 70 miles an hour down the interstate. I try to keep my shield closed. I wear a full face helmet. Like right now, a lot of times if it's not super windy, I keep my shield open and I have a pair of sunglasses on. And today I didn't even put my sunglasses on because I don't want to be tempted to ride with my shield open. So tip 2 is kind of along the same lines, because it's another, you know, stay alert. So I know most people, they want to take a hand off your bars. You want to put it on cruise control. Now in a car or a four-wheeled vehicle, you're probably okay to stick it on cruise. I know if I do that, like in my truck or the vehicles I've had before, I notice that when there's a lot of wind resistance on the vehicle, it kind of throws it into overdrive, or it downshifts a lot, and it kind of, you know, that kind of stuff on a motorcycle is not something that you want to have happen when you're cruising down the road. So I don't take my hands off the bars when you're, you know, kicking it pretty quick. I know I just did that, but it's pretty slow. I'm going like 20 miles an hour. Well, I'll be getting on the interstate here in a second to go home, and it might be a good time to portray that. So I know it gets pretty windy. A lot of people hate on me, like when they hear that I'm heading home and they asked if I take the back way. No, I hate being stopped red light to red light. I hit up the interstate even though it might not be as safe. It might not be as safe, but it's at least I'm not on and off the clutch. I like to cruise. I like to just get on it and roll. So it's a, you know, nice little 20-minute time for me to just roll with it rather than me going the back way. So another thing, since we're here on the interstate, is you are going to get kicked around a whole lot more, especially when you're behind big trucks like this. You want to try to avoid that as much as you can. One thing I do is when I'm around a big truck like this, I stay to this side of the lane. One thing, if there's a truck, if I'm going by them and they do start to get over, I'm not so close to them, and I'm able to get out the way a little bit easier. But now that we're getting into an area where it's starting to open up, you can probably see that it's starting to beat me up a little bit more, and it doesn't really bother me too much. I got the big fairing to help me out, and another reason why I went with the Road Glide is because of the wind blockage that I felt when I took him out for a test ride. So I knew this is the kind of riding I do a lot of the times, so that's why I went with it. But definitely, I don't know if you could just see how that shit was kicking me around. So try to do my best to keep both hands on the bars. And good lord. So where that way I stay in control of it. I'm not taken aback by a sudden gust of wind. I don't only have one hand on the bars when I get hit by a big gust. Like the little area I'm in right now is kind of just a wind tunnel, so it's going to be a little bit more rough. Or when I get out to the open area right here, it's probably gonna feel a little bit better, and it already does right there. So the biggest thing I can portray, honestly, is just stay alert, keep both hands on your controls. Don't put it in cruise if you have it. Just try to avoid doing anything that might get you a little less focused on the road. But it's nothing to be scared of. If you're a new rider and you're nervous about riding when it's a little windy, honestly, just stay alert, which is what you should be doing anyway. But that'd be a good time to go ahead and portray that. I'd really been shooting too many. Look at that. See, that just moved me right there. Insane. I'd really been shooting too many videos because of everything going on. If I give a little bit of an update of what's going on with me and my wife right now, we're both considered essential. My job is stayed open, so I'm at work 5-6 days a week. Her job is considered essential as well, and she is at work. She only works in an office with like 3 or 4 people, so there's not much of a risk for her at all. But I don't want to be shooting too many videos looking like I'm going out and not abiding by any of the laws right now. The Virginia governor has like had a stay-at-home order, which means like you can only go out for essential things. But honestly, it doesn't look like anything's changed. There's not like any less people on the road. I don't like it really honestly doesn't look like anything's changed. The grocery stores are just as packed. But Simon and I, been a fan of the channel, you know that we hang out at Roanoke Valley Harley-Davidson a lot, and they're considered an essential business as well, and they're taking all the precautions they can. So Simon and I recently did a video where we're riding, we took a couple bikes out for a test ride, and I videoed that one, and so that might not have been the best thing, but we'll see how that one goes. So I don't know, just a quick little update. Be nice to just check in real quick. My ride home from work is so relaxing to just hop up on the interstate and just cruise. Like that slick move. I had a dip class one time tell me that shooting across 2 lanes of traffic like that, don't act like you're in Fast and Furious. That was like the reference they gave, because that's what they do in Fast and Furious, right? Anyway, let me get off the interstate. I'm going to end this one out. Engine braking. Oh, you see how she sounds? Just that gurgle. Oh, I love it. So, tell me down in the comments, like, how COVID-19 is affecting you. Are you still out riding? Let me know. I like to interact a little bit. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit the little bell notification icon. That way you get notified when I upload future videos. So, well, until next time, guys. Bye.